our photo. Let's do a photo.
This is so on point because I wore this when we first met up with Anjali and it was like,
Oh, yeah.
let's cheers to beautiful new beginning. This beautiful podcast episode that we're about to do. We pray that not only we but others receive everything we have to give today. All the lessons, blessings, and knowledge that are about to come from both of us.
Yes. Come on, come on. Thank you. I literally was painting them right before you got going. So I'm like, let me get a clear going in real quick.
I got some red clover in here, dandelion. You are the best. She's magical today. I wanted us to have like a upper. Welcome everyone. Peace, blessings, and beyond to all. I would love to get us started off with a gentle sound bowl. I want everyone to take a deep breath in. Let's hold it up again. Deep breath out. Another nice deep inhale. A beautiful breath out. Let's take our final collective inhale. Let's hold on to it. And release. May everyone's heart be warm at this time. Thank you to God. Thank you to beautiful beings here today.
Thank you.
So grateful, so grateful. So guys, welcome to Everything Jalen Ray, where we're going to talk about everything under the sun, moon, and stars, and how it ties back to God, ourself, and our source. This is where real stories meet spiritual truth and how we explore how our faith shows up in our everyday lives. I am your host, Jalen Ray, and let's get into it.
Yes. Hello, hello. Okay.
Alrighty, everybody. Alright, y'all. So on today, Everything Jalen Ray, I am so honored to welcome this beautiful soul. She is a devoted mother and wife, a sound alchemist, a gifted poet, self-proclaimed faith writer whose words carry deep healing. She's also the founder and owner of LJP Holistic Wellness, a company dedicated to helping others align their mind, body, and spirit. Her journey is all about channeling divine energy through sound, creativity, and holistic living. She's someone I not only consider a dear friend, but she's a soul sister to me.
Yes.
And today she's here to share her story and wisdom with us. Everyone, please welcome Catora on the
Very grateful and excited to be here on this podcast and to share my life journey, to share my experience, to share my love, my joy, and my peace. And it feels good and it's right on time. It's definitely something that I've been asking God to place into my life, more speaking engagements, more times for me to just speak my authentic and true self and really embody what it means to walk in the fruits of the Spirit. So I'm grateful to be on this podcast with my girl David. Yes, and we look so pretty in this feed. Okay, and the aesthetics are vibing.
You want to come up here?
Come on. blessing, that's a miracle indeed. And so every day we're going to say thank you.
Gratitude. I am definitely so excited to have you here.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm honored to have you as my first guest here. You're someone who truly inspires me. I have to let you know that you're someone who every time you come up on my page, that's that girl. She's that girl. So I'm definitely happy to have you here. I think that we're going to get into some deep things. I'm hoping that you're open to the questions I'm going to have. And not only that, this is like our first, or I wouldn't say our first hangout session. You know, I did your hair, but
It kind of, yes, but it is though. That's
like
crazy.
our first sit down and get to know each other, you know?
Yes, I love this.
I hope you got some questions for me too. I didn't tell you to.
I didn't write any, but I know if Spirit moves me and I feel called to ask them, I sure will. Because I'm all for the engagement back and forth, you know?
All right now. So I know that you just had a birthday. Do you mind telling everyone how old you turned? How did your birthday go? What did you do? What did you get into?
Yes. I am now 25 years young, and the anthem for 25 is grown, sexy, modest. Definitely highlighting that grown energy of like stepping into what it means to be older, wiser, and just like leaving that imprint and that blueprint behind for my family. Like really stepping into that financial security, financial abundance. You know, building my dream life with my husband, and you know what it means to have grown up friends, sisterhood as a grown up, like stepping into that fully, authentically, and sexy, because that's the energy that we carry. You know, it's not about what you got on, what you're wearing, but it's just the energy that you carry, and being modest. You know, I felt really called to that for many years. Just by God, my inner spirit telling me to put on clothes that feel a little bit better, but like also carrying myself in a way that feels aligned with who I am. So that goes in with like my head wraps and just the attire that I wear. Now, if you see me with something on the next day, I don't want to hear it.
Okay, that's what we want around here.
Exactly, we really want to wear, and I'm very much called to where God is telling me to go. But for the most part, you know, I'm really making sure that I step into that and walk into that. But my 25th birthday was a success. It was beautiful. I had planned a birthday party with for all my friends and family to come together, and I was like, I'm not doing that because your girl was tired. And like days before, I was just having like some deep depression come up out of me, and I know that had to do with the just wounds and triggers and the flooding that happened in Milwaukee that just like had me not really in the best space. And I do love to be held. I'm learning I love to be held in smaller groups versus on a wider scale. Mainly because like the anxiety that come with that sometimes, and also just the Virgo on me feeling like I gotta control everything, making sure it's perfect, and I just be having to like release that. So, you know, next year somebody want to be an event planner and plan it for me, I'm gonna let y'all have full authority over that. But this year that didn't happen, and yeah, just spent time with my loved ones. Got to see, we had our sunrise sound bath to kick off the weekend for my birthday weekend, which that was beautiful, amazing, just holding space for other beautiful women that are just good soul spirits, and I can see they are definitely headed to spaces where they want to really feel the fullness of freedom and living freely through like their spirit, living through love and letting go of wounds and trauma. So that was just like perfect for 25, because I'm heavy on letting all that shit go, not letting it carry within me too much, because then it starts to weigh me down. So yeah, but beautiful weekend. Saw some friends from my hometown too, and then me and my husband had a beautiful, relaxing day on my birthday, which is what I want. I love that self-care, just being able to pour into me, journal, reflect on what it is I want and who I want to be stepping into year 25, because I got to get clear on my goals. Big things are coming, changing, happening for me, and I'm ready. Look at that. I love it. Yes.
Okay, so I did hear that you said you would let go of some things. So now that 25 is here, what are some, like the number one thing that you changed in your life, or were there any big paradigm
I really feel like it's my mental health for sure. And my mental health has been something that I've been making a priority since the age of 18. And I recognize that life brings us through so many different seasons, and there's so many different lessons that we have to learn. But after just recently having my second baby, who's now 9 months, crazy.
9 months in,
yes.
9 months out.
That's wild to me, but it's the mental capacity that comes with carrying a baby and having a baby, and then recognizing like, oh, your mental health might not be exactly where you thought it was, and that's okay, because I'm still learning and I'm still growing and I still give myself grace for everything that I'm trying to learn about myself in general. And yeah, so being from the age of like 18, I recognized that I had depression, and I needed to learn how to move through it without letting it suffocate me or lead me into suicidal attempts, suicidal ideation. And now I feel like the last 2 years I really honed in on that, but then after having a baby, I'm like, a lot of shit's coming back.
Yeah.
A lot of things are coming back that from like my childhood, from my the last pregnancy, that have entered into this new pregnancy, because things come up as you experience them again. And so I've just been like trying to hold myself accountable for the ways that my actions and my thoughts and my behaviors do affect and harm those around me, but also giving myself grace as I just birth a human, and letting myself know that like it's only gonna get better. And I feel that shift every single day. I just have to stay in that perspective and in that mindset of like, it only gets better, it only gets better, it only gets better. And yes. And I thank my husband for that affirmation, because yes, because we need that reminder, especially when you are in it. Sometimes you can be so deep in it that everything else don't matter. But like when you come up out of it, you're like, oh, I am grateful for this guy. I am grateful for my family, the earth, the trees, my breath, to be alive. That's a big one. Yes.
All right, so I do want to segue, because I did hear you say you experienced your first depression about 18, and I had a similar story, so I would love to hear about, how did you notice that you were depressed, or you felt like it's like, okay, now something's wrong here, something ain't right?
Yes. Well, so when I was 18, I realized I was experiencing depression, because around that time I had some traumatic like sexual assault come up for me, and the wounds were displayed. It wasn't happening at that time, but I had like remembered, and like, oh, it brings me back to what. Okay, so rewind. Yes, I gotta rewind. So when I was in high school, I had to give a sexual assault speech, and during that speech, I had broke down and started crying, because I didn't even realize, oh, this actually happened to me. The speech that I'm giving, this happened to me. And I started breaking down crying during the speech in front of everybody, and I like called my mom after, and I'm like, I think I'm having like some kind of panic attack. I'm not sure what's going on. And then I had like remembered, and I had a whole bunch of memories wash over me of being sexually assaulted, and it became real for me. And a lot of that I didn't tell my mother right away, because I just wasn't ready to, or I was scared, all the accusations, the questions that come with that. And so I was sitting with it, a lot of it with myself, but I was not processing it correctly. And so it became more of like something that I was dwelling in versus just learning from. And I did feel it all, but I didn't know how to move through it. And that did lead into my depression, being sexually assaulted as a kid. And so I was depressed around September 2018. I had my first suicide attempt, and yes.
I love you, and I'm grateful that we're still here.
Thank you. Me too. Thank you, God. I love you too. And that was really hard and challenging for me to not really want to be here, even though I knew that I was loved. But I just was like, I'm done with this. School was not for me. Like, I was not rocking with school. I was playing basketball. I was feeling like nothing was going the way that I wanted to be. And so, yeah, that just led me deeply into it. And then months later, I actually had a friend who committed suicide. And within that couple of months, it was like I felt my whole life ripped. To be able to see and witness how her suicide affected her family, all the cheerleaders in our group, and to see how it was going to change and shift our lives forever, it devastated me, and it had me look inward, inside, about myself of like, hey, I need to change. Hey, I need to get help, seek therapy. I need to be open and honest about what I'm experiencing, because if I don't, what happened to her could have very well been me. And people don't know that, but I look at her a lot and I'm just like, oh, I wish we could have just had a hug at that time, because we probably were going through the same exact thing, you know, depression or whatever it may be. And if we would have just had a friend that could have just hugged us and held us, you know, who knows? But everything is exactly as it should be at this moment right now. Her death definitely impacted me and how I live my life today a lot, and I am grateful for that. And I'm grateful for her family and everybody that was there to support her during that time, support everybody during this time. So,
Very much so. I send her family love at this time.
Yes.
I know how hard that can be. Recently, one of my favorite YouTubers passed away.
Really?
I cried.
Yes.
It was, I've never experienced, like, I guess, closeness dying, even though I didn't know him.
Yes.
It was still like, I felt like I did. I watch his videos like every week. Like, of course he made messy commentary, but he's still a human. He was still on his journey, like, and he was just himself. But to see that, and then it was a big motivation of like, ain't nothing promised.
Yeah.
Tomorrow not promised. What are you steady? Like, tomorrow I'm gonna do this, do that.
Yes.
Do it today. Like, do it today. That's why it's kind of how we here today.
Exactly.
Because I know I was about to go to Vegas, and I'm like, you're not gonna leave without getting someone in your house. Like,
I know that's right. Yes. Yes.
So thank you for sharing that segment.
Thank you.
Okay, so we did kind of skip over that, but I do want to fill everybody in. I want to get your words on who you are, where you come from, how were you raised, what was childhood like?
Yes. Oh yeah. I'm Catora on the Hansa. 25, born in Chicago, raised in the suburbs. Grew up in like grew up in the Elgin, Streamwood area, a little bit of South Elgin, so a lot of suburbs in my life. But you know, for the majority of my childhood, I felt like I was very blessed, spoiled. You know, and I got a lot of the things that I wanted in my childhood. But as where the light is with my childhood, there is darkness, and I did, you know, experience some sexual assault in my childhood. Just unhealthy relationships amongst family members, and you know, that was a lot of the turmoil that brought up the depression and like my adulthood. But you know, can't let it bring me down too much. And so there's been a lot of inner child healing, especially now having 2 kids, where a lot of my childhood that I feel like I did not take, like, really have gratitude for, I do now, seeing it through my kids and doing things with my kids. I can experience a lot of gratitude for a lot of the things that my mom did provide for me. You know, as a kid, they call you ungrateful, but we ain't learned what it really meant to be grateful, you know, above just the food on our back, food on our table, clothes on our back, roof over our head. It goes beyond that. These are yes, the basic necessities that we should always be grateful for, but gratitude goes way beyond those things. Yes.
That was so deep because, like, I feel like growing up we weren't taught to say thank you, and you know,
Yes.
at least you have this and at least you have that, but I wasn't really taught to just be grateful for breath, for
Yes.
life, for the simple things, like for every little thing. I was really just, I didn't experience gratitude for life until my adult years, so definitely appreciating being grateful for the things that I did have, you know, when I was a child, because I just knew how to be grateful for the material possessions
Exactly.
that I was like, or people was like, at least you got it.
I know, exactly. And those are beautiful things to have, but that's not what's going to carry us through. That's not going to show us why God put us here, you know.
Exactly.
Because those material things can be taken away at any moment, and then what are you left with? What are you left with? And you have to learn to be grateful for your breath, just being grateful to live another day. A lot of people take that for granted, but that's a blessing every single day. The birds chirping over there, that's something to be grateful for. You know, the water stream behind us.
Yeah.
There's so many things to be grateful for, but you have to be able to go beyond just the... Where's that? Where's that?
I'm sorry. Yeah, lean this way a little bit. It's like right
I am not... I'm blind right now.
It's me taking my glasses off so you can see them.
Where you pointed at? Okay, straight ahead.
He's kind of blending in.
Is it a bird or a chipmunk?
I feel like he's... Alright, thanks for sharing that with us. So my next question is, when did you become aware of God or start your spiritual journey, as they say?
You know, I feel like I've always been aware of God, but I didn't understand the fullness and the capacity of who God is. So like growing up, I grew up Christian. We stayed in church every Sunday, Mama waking us up. And then there grew a time where I'm like, I really don't want to go to church. My mom was fighting me on it, like, all right, here's what we can do. You can go to church 1 week and then have a couple weeks off to go again. And when we had that compromise, I really respected it because it allowed me to have space and feel like I had more of a decision over what my spirituality or religion looked like. And I was always grateful for that. But when I was in high school, I joined the praise dance team and loved it. Shout out Leah and Jacqueline, and just like the praise team definitely was a pivotal time for my life, and just learning how to be connected with God, how to move through singing, how to move through sound, and letting it like really take over you. And being on the praise dance team definitely taught me a lot about God and what praise meant, along with how to be grateful, how to honor your body, how to honor the woman that you are. And so that was like the start of it. I identified as Christian in my earlier days of life, but then after my like first suicide attempt and depression, I kind of like started to like move away from Christianity and recognizing like the things that they taught us, it don't feel like the actual truth. It doesn't feel like from the witchcraft to the being an earthly being, like all of that was like very much shamed upon, or always being talked about like sin, and like the overwhelming like shame that Christianity had made me feel, the churches had made me feel. I was just like, I ain't messing with it. I'm done with this.
Heavy on that.
I'm
Heavy
done
on
with it. And I believe in 2022, I had what I would consider my first spiritual awakening. I met this online on TikTok. Her name is Styx River, Oriana, and she was debunking the Bible. And I was just like,
My kind of girl.
Yes, like, I was like, this is right on time, you know, just uncovering the truths about the Bible, you know, like incense is in the Bible, you know, they talk about witchcraft, but like, they were gathering in circles in the Bible, they were doing so many different things in the Bible that they demonized, you know, now they call it New Age spirituality. And I don't really conform to any religion, at all. consider myself as just embodying love, joy, and peace, walking within the fruits of the Spirit, which that does come from the Bible. But I believe in the Bible. I believe in all these spiritual texts, but I do choose wisely what I'm going to focus on. Letting them be guides, not rulers of my life. I believe that God is within me. God is within wherever you are. God is, I am, you are, God is, and just like fully embracing that. So I'm looking at you, I'm like, I see the God within you. I'm looking at the water, I see the God within the water. And honoring that. And honoring that. Even within Christianity, I believe in Christ consciousness. We weren't meant to be Christians, we were meant to be Christ. Jesus Christ is a great prophet, but we can all be prophets. It's
That's
just,
the one.
It's just really, if you really want to step into that and fully live that. But yeah, God is, I am, you are, God is.
I just wanted to share really quickly because I was having like this thought. So I was on shrooms one day, and this was how I kind of realized like God is everything. I was just at the lake, or I was in the woods, because I feel like this was my birthday. But I was just sitting there crying, and it was like chipmunks and all kind of other things. Like, of course they weren't physically there, but I was seeing like the nature, the fairy tale creatures, and they were all just running around everything. And I'm like, this is God.
Yes.
Like, everything is God. I am God. You are God. Like, it's just in everything. Like,
no
why would we be here if there wasn't something like, it's all connected. We're all one. Like, yeah.
And that's so beautiful to experience, especially off shrooms. Look.
Shout out to that.
Oh my goodness. But it's a beautiful awakening to recognize that we are all supposed to be here to experience love, to share and give love, and receive love, and love our neighbors as we love ourselves, like they are ourselves, because we are connected. So how I treat you is going to impact the world. And so like really living through the fruits of the Spirit of love, joy, peace, kindness, gentleness, goodness, self-control, you have to really hone in on that. And that's what I feel like is important to embody.
Right. Let's start there. I want to hear your version on how we met.
On TikTok.
Okay.
On TikTok. We met on TikTok.
Okay.
TikTok. Look, I love you, TikTok. Thank you for aligning me with such beautiful people. I'm a big fan of finding friends on TikTok and then meeting up with them in person. But yeah, we met on TikTok. It was at a time that I was looking for a yoga studio to teach at in Chicago. And just like trying to move to Chicago, and I came across Love You By, and then I came across your page where you were doing yoga, and then you were doing the sound baths, and I was like, yes, it's exactly alignment with what I want to do. And at the time it was just yoga for me. I didn't start incorporating sound baths until after I met you, because I went to your sound bath session at Love You By, and I was like, I'm so excited. I'm like experience my first meditative sound bath. And then just walking into this beautiful Love You By studio and just seeing you there with all your pink on. First of all, I love pink, so when I walked in and I saw you in pink, I was just like, yes, this is beautiful. And then just being able to experience that community, and what you were building and what you were growing and who you were becoming, it was just beautiful to witness. And then we only got to chat for just like a couple seconds afterwards, but I had knew I was like, that's gonna be somebody that I'm gonna be friends with, that I'm gonna connect with. That's my sister. I know it here right now, God. I don't know when you're gonna bring it to like its full capacity, but I'm grateful that it started. It's begun.
When we first met, I was like, I couldn't believe it, because we met on social media.
Yes.
You were the first. Yeah, I think I met you before this girl India that I met on TikTok too. But I was like through social media, and then it really made me realize like you can reach people.
Yes.
It's not just right here. It's not just word of mouth. Like, your platform holds